Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Victoria if you're new around here, and I'm a stay-at-home mom to a 21-month-old baby girl named Penelope. I wanted to sit down and make this video because if you're anything like I was while I was pregnant, you're probably researching a lot of videos and content specifically on what registry items you need for your upcoming baby. It's important to kind of do your research because especially as a first-time mom, it's very easy to get a little carried away with some of the things that you probably don't really need, or some of the things that maybe feel like they're absolute necessities now, but down the line, you're kind of going to want to regret those purchases. So without further ado, I'm kind of just going to jump right into this video and share my baby registry regrets and the things that I will absolutely not be signing up for. So the first thing that I'm going to recommend to you guys is to skip out on all of the newborn baby clothes, newborn sizes. I know that, I'm probably not the first one to say this, but truth be told, unless you have a preemie, they're not really gonna make the most of those newborn clothes. They'll probably fit into them for like the first month. So I definitely am a big fan of those like little sleepers, the ones with the footy pajamas. Specifically, the 0 to 3 month ones, those are really gonna give you a lot more time to, use the clothes and not have to, rebuy anything else. So if you're gonna put any type of clothing items on your registry, just be sure that you shoot for that 0 to 3 month size mark. Another thing that I'm going to tell you guys to skip out on are baby shoes. Oh my goodness, such a waste of time and of money in my opinion. Especially in that 4th trimester, you're kind of in like survival mode. So putting shoes on your baby, unless it's like a photo shoot or unless you're doing something specific like themed event, just seems kind of silly. They don't stay on their feet long. Oftentimes, like I said, those little sleepers with the footy pajamas are going to be the perfect thing for your baby to just keep them warm and snuggly. It's comfortable and it's just easy. It's easy in and out, especially if you have zippers, to just change a diaper and not have to worry about any of that. So definitely skip out on those baby shoes, at least until they're, 3 months old. If you want to start like incorporating like, some cute little moccasins or things like that, but definitely not something that you want to register for. Now for what I believe is an unpopular opinion. Are you guys ready for this one? Dr. Brown bottles. I know. I'm sure that there are reflux mamas out there who swear by these bottles, but coming from my own experience, and my daughter did have reflux, she did have, colics. The Dr. Brown bottles are a nightmare. And I signed up for these on my registry from a recommendation of a family friend. And I immediately thought, oh my God, I need to get all of the bottles of this amazing, Dr. Brown, style. And I, registered for the entire set. Lo and behold, baby comes, and yeah, sure, they worked great for the time being, but I'm gonna break down for you why I will never recommend these bottles to anyone. One, there are way too many parts. And when I tell you way too many parts, just envision yourself at 4 in the morning cleaning bottle parts, and not just cleaning the nipple, not just cleaning the ring, not just cleaning the bottle, but then you have to clean the little rubber stopper. You have to clean the little tube that goes in the middle. I mean, it is just so much maintenance for a bottle. 2, they leak. And when I tell you they leak, I'm telling you that, I don't know if I'm a special case. I don't know if I did something wrong. All I know is that I even reached out to Dr. Brown's customer service, which, by the way, they have amazing customer service. They really do. They sent some replacement bottles my way. And guess what? They still leaked on me. After having basically, 4 ounces of liquid gold breast milk just leak from the sides of that bottle and not make it to my baby, I pretty much just gave up altogether. And I'm gonna share with you guys the bottles that you do need. I'll be right back. Nook Simply Natural bottles. These bottles are amazing. And when I tell you amazing, they only have 3 parts, super easy to clean. They look really chic and sophisticated. But the real genius part about all this is really in the nipple. If you guys can pay attention to that, it is shaped like, like as if you're breastfeeding. It has a little anti-colic hole up here. And guys, let me tell you, coming from, I tested the Advent, Dr. Brown's, I tested so many different types of bottles, but this one really did produce no bubbles. It was like night and day. And they're just so simple. They're so affordable. I think a pack of 3 of these tall 9-ounce bottles is like, I don't know, 12 bucks or something. And, I love them. So for baby number 2, I'm totally gonna keep using these bottles. I'll just rebuy new nipples. But when we discovered these bottles, it was a godsend. And I was just so happy to just not have to worry about all the parts and not have to worry about all the cleaning and the leaking more than anything. These have never leaked on me. They've fallen on the floor. I mean, they're hard plastic. You know, I just can't say enough good things about this specific bottle. So if you're, you know, looking to transition from Dr. Brown's, if you haven't, you know, thought about it, or if you already registered for it, maybe only put one bottle down. Don't sign up for the entire set, because signing up for the entire set is just going to leave you with a bunch of bottles at the end of the day that perhaps you're not happy with and are just taking up a lot of space. So Nook Simply Natural. Another thing that I'm going to say to stay away from is, you know, a lot of people like to register for like the Mama and, you know, a lot of other big ticket items, you know, like a DockATot. I'm not saying a DockATot's not necessary. I think that in certain instances, it's very convenient to have a DockATot, but I do think that it's very expensive. So I do believe that there are a lot of other affordable options out there that you can consider to really make the most of your, you know, arrangements at home. One thing that I really loved, I believe it was the Graco, it was like a swing that popped off. So, you know, if the baby's swinging, you could easily just pick up the bassinet portion where the baby is laying and strapped, and you can move it around the house. And that was a godsend because, you know, if I needed to take a shower, if I needed to do something in the kitchen, you know, and the baby is in the living room on the swing, you know, I could move her over or bring her, you know, to the bathroom with me. And it kind of doubled as multiple items. So one thing that I would really recommend is when you're looking at all of these products, try to find toys or swings or whatever it may be that are multifunctional. Toys or seating, you know, apparatuses, if you will, that will not just last you for that first, fourth trimester, you know, that will take your baby on to their first year. So yeah, we really did love that. We also have another awesome lounger. It's kind of like a chair style that had like straps, and at first, you know, when our baby was newborn, you know, she would just rest there and it would be a safe place where we could just put her. But now, you know, as a toddler, she still uses the chair because it is multifunctional. It's a grow with me type of piece. So I really do recommend, as much as possible, try to find items that you know are going to take your child through that first year. Mama-Roo is not going to take your child through that first year. Believe me when I tell you, it is not only very expensive, but it's also very heavy. So you're not going to be able to move it around. You're not going to be able to take it from room to room. And again, you know, once your baby doesn't fit in there anymore, which, you know, is usually around the 4 or 5 month mark, unless you have a preemie, you're kind of going to be stuck with a very, very big piece of machinery that is not going to see the light of day again until you either have another baby or you sell it. So just keep that in mind, guys. I know that sometimes these really glitzy products seem like they're necessities. They seem like you need them, but you really don't. And you're gonna look back and you're gonna say, gosh, did I really need it? Same with the DockATot. Like, there's a DockATot and then there's a DockATot Grand. Like, do you really wanna get stuck with something that your baby's gonna outgrow? Again, it's all personal preference, but just for me and our family, we felt that there were so many other, you know, items that were much more affordable, took up way less space, and that really did the job beautifully. So I'll leave it at that. Another thing that I'm gonna recommend not to register for, a lot of like bath stuff. You know, all babies are different. All skin types are different. So if you're registering for, you know, the Johnson & Johnson, you know, bath kit, and then you're registering for the Aveeno bath kit, and then you're registering for the Mustela bath kit, it's really not an item that I think people should gift. I mean, I think it would make more sense for you to buy it yourself because it's, you know, personal preference. But, you know, my daughter had a little bit of eczema in the beginning, so whatever we had registered for, we couldn't even use, which was the Johnson & Johnson. It would strip her skin. So we had to then change gears, switch to Aveeno. So basically the things I had registered for that were gifted to me weren't really utilized because my baby just didn't fare well with it. So keep that in mind, you guys. You know, don't bother with those little things. It's just gonna create confusion with your friends and family. And again, you know, something like shower gel and lotion is something so sensitive to the skin type that you really don't know what you're going to be dealing with until baby's here. Another thing I'm going to tell you guys not to go crazy with is the pacifiers. You really don't know what type of pacifier your baby's going to like. I know that I had registered for a ton of the Advent, you know, the Soothies, the ones from the hospital. My daughter did not like those at all. They would just keep falling out. The Wubbanubs as well. She really wasn't a fan of the Wubbanub because, again, it is that soothing pacifier. We found that the ones that she really did take and enjoyed, which I also loved, was the Advent simple pacifiers, but they have a clear top on them. So it's fantastic because you can just throw it in your bag. You don't have to worry about hair getting on the nipple or, you know, unsanitary situations. And it's just easy to transport. Don't sign up for too many. Another thing that I'm gonna recommend not to go crazy with are the bibs. And when I tell you bibs, I mean those cutesy bibs that say all the cute little sayings and that, you know, they're so adorable with the little like Velcro snap and they look kind of like the old school bibs. You know, don't bother with those. They're not absorbent. They don't pick up anything. You're basically gonna be switching them out more often than the baby's gonna be wearing them. I highly, highly, highly recommend bandana bibs. Amazon, I'll put a link down below, has amazing quality bandana bibs that are way, way absorbent. And I'm telling you, super duper absorbent. These things hold a lot. They come in super cute prints. They're super fashionable. And I mean, you can get a pretty decent sized lot of bibs for a really small investment cost. So again, cutesy bibs, all of that stuff, keep it out. You don't want that. Another thing that I'm going to recommend not to sign up on your registry are, you know, some of the things. I remember when I did my first registry, I was like, I need all of the things for the first year. So I even started including like feeding stuff and toys for bigger toddlers and stuff like that. And focus more on the real necessities in the beginning, because again, every child is different. So you don't want to be signing up for things that then down the line your child isn't really going to have an interest in, or you're just kind of going to be like, why did I even register for this? You know, it just seems so like silly to put things on your list like that you're just seeing so far in advance and you really don't know if you're going to need it or not. So keep that in mind. Another thing that I am going to say to stay away from are the expensive baby bathtubs. It's very tempting to see, you know, the vibrating baby bathtub and be like, ooh, you know, I would love to be in this spa situation if I was a newborn. But believe you me, you know, at least maybe my case is specific and different, but my child did not like that vibrating situation, you know, and one thing that I didn't consider is that the tub that I had registered for is actually one that is meant to be over like a double sink in a kitchen. I don't have a double sink. You know, we didn't live in this house when I first got pregnant, so it wasn't something that I considered as like a make or break situation, but lo and behold, once we were finally home and we had our daughter and we were starting to whip out that bathtub because she no longer fit in the sink, we just, you know, didn't really use it much. Another thing I'm going to say not to bother registering for is a water thermometer, a baby water thermometer. Common sense, guys, I'm telling you. I know as a first-time mom, some of these things feel like they are make or break. I need it in my life, otherwise I'm going to be a terrible mother, but you do not need a water thermometer. You literally can just dunk your elbow in and make sure that it's nice and lukewarm, you know, I mean, use your best judgment. And I mean, I know that I take a shower with scorching hot water. I love it to just burn my skin off. But even then, I could still tell what was lukewarm for my child and what wasn't. That was something that I had, and then I was like, why do I even have this? This is stupid. Like, I'm not gonna actually plop it in every single time. So don't bother with that. Another thing is a lot of play mats. I mean, you really only need one. And the one that I really love and highly recommend and will be reusing for the next go around is the Fisher-Price with the little piano. It really engages them to kind of kick and interact. It's a pain in the butt because, believe me, fourth trimester, you're just trying to survive. So having to keep track of all of these different areas of your home that have these different play mats just seems kind of silly and counterproductive. So if you just have one good one, and I really love that Fisher-Price one that I mentioned because, again, as I mentioned before, it will grow with your child. Once my daughter was no longer at the age of like tummy time and stuff like that, she would sit up on the play mat and she would play with the piano, and then the piano even disconnects from the actual mat. So as she got older, she started just playing with the piano itself. So that's a really great thing to consider, and it's super inexpensive too. I'm gonna link it down below. Another thing that I'm gonna say not to bother registering for if you have girls is just like a bunch of bows and stuff. I feel like some of those little details and accessories are better served for you to purchase yourself. You don't know if your baby's gonna like things on their head. I know that my daughter really wasn't a fan. Once she got to the age where she could kind of feel things on her head and she could reach for it herself, she would quickly pull them off. So I have dozens of bows just sitting there. And you know, sure, is it nice to have? Yeah, but is it something that you want to register for? I don't think so. If you want my opinion on the absolute must-haves for registering, you know, other than the bottle that I mentioned and some of the other little things that I've brought up, leave a comment down below, give this video a thumbs up. I would be happy to go over my registry must-haves. You know, there's some things that I had for baby number 1 that I no longer have now. So for example, like the pack and play situation, we had one of those pack and plays with the bassinet and the changer and all of that jazz. We obviously still have the pack and play, but we gave away the portions on top. So, you know, we're looking at new things now and kind of trying to see what new products have come onto the market. And I would love to make a video about that if you're interested. So yeah, thanks again so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again soon, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you. Bye.